Good morning, I'm Earth's Dr. Reese Halter, and you're listening to Earthcast, SOS.com. Brutal news this morning. Petroleum-based, climate-altering plastics are slowly and excruciatingly killing sea turtles. No! Did you know that sea turtles represent a heavenly strand of life lost in a time warp that saw all other dinosaurs vanish? Having evolved on land 200 million years ago, these beauties now spend their entire lives at sea except to lay eggs on rugged beaches around the globe. Sea turtles are ancient, but they are not primitive. My colleagues in South Africa have just reported that 60% of Loggerhead hatchlings are full of deadly plastics, packaging, and plastic fibers, including rayon and polyester from fleece material. 24 of 40 loggerheads died painful deaths within 2 months of stranding in April of 2015. Plastics blocked their digestive tracts or bladders, so they suffered from septicemia, blood poisoning. It takes a long time for septicemia to kill an animal. How bloody awful and avoidable and brutal. Let me remind you, what we do to the oceans, we do to ourselves. Again this week, I reiterate, when the G7 meets on May 26th and 27th on Kashiko Island in Japan, it's long overdue that they provide a plan to address 51 trillion pieces of plastics in our oceans. Acid oceans, melting sea snails, oceans running out of oxygen by 2030. Hello! My colleagues in South Africa found that plastics made up 99% of all the beach trash they collected. 77% were hard plastics like bottle caps, pens, and dreadful plastic straws. 10% were flexible plastics like six-pack rings. And 8% were fibers from fleece. Industrial plastic pellets only made up 3% compared to 70% in a previous study between 1968 and 73. In an earlier study, only 12% of the sea turtle hatchlings were filled with plastics compared to 60% today. Oh no! South African beaches are covered with plastics, 400 pieces per square yard. South Africa ranks as the 11th worst country for dumping plastics into the oceans. China, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam are the worst plastic offenders. They contribute to 60% of all discarded plastics into our oceans. No! The filth of plastics floating on the surface of the oceans are only 5% of all the plastics in the sea, according to Ocean Conservation. Ocean Conservation predicts that by 2025, for every ton of plastic in the sea, there'll be 3 tons of fish. The numbers I'm seeing, I reckon they've lowballed this, and it may be a lot closer to 2 tons of plastic for every 3 tons of fish. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have a stake in this. I urge each of you to refuse plastics. If we all refuse plastics, then big oil will choke on their own deadly poisons. Please never, ever use plastic straws. It's shocking what I'm seeing and my colleagues are seeing with plastic straws and what they're doing to sea life. Reduce what you consume. Reuse materials like glass mason jars and repurpose all other materials. Hashtag save nature now. Hashtag love nature. Hashtag love is the solution. Earthcast SOS depends upon you, the listeners. So come on to drreese.com, DRREESE.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and click on that donate button. Make it happen. Or pick yourself up any number of cool books on bees, trees, seas, or wild weather. Just do it. drreese.com. I'm Earth Dr. Reese Halter, reminding you to protect our planet.